I mean, this thing handles like a dream. It's great. I mean, I think it would be more fun if they gave it just full-on British handling, but whatever. Oh, hello. I don't know, I think it would have been fun if that's what they did. Because right now it's a more maneuverable Baltimore that's the same or worse in most other aspects. Which, I mean, to be fair, Baltimore is a pretty damn strong ship, so it's not like that's necessarily a bad thing. But, I think they could have gone full, just said fuck it and gone full, given it full RNCL handling. I think that would have been that would have made an interesting and fun premium. I mean, I still think it's fun, but it's really not that interesting. It's a standard US cruiser. It doesn't bring anything special to the table, which I think that, obviously for a premium ship, you know, you want to bring something to the table that's, you know, special. And that's a lot of the things I've seen on Wichita have been, well, this ship has nothing special about it. And you know what? I think it's a good ship and a good premium, but I don't disagree that there is nothing special about it. It's a standard US cruiser. It's nothing special. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know. I like that it's a premium that isn't stupidly different or stupidly overpowered. I'm not gonna complain about that, but I don't think it's worth $50. I like the ship. I don't want a refund, but I don't think it's worth the money they're charging for it. I just don't. If they had gone full, I mean, yeah. I don't know why I don't know why you should pay to get stuck in tier 10 matchmaking in a ship that brings nothing special to the table. Do I like the ship? Yes. Would I say you should spend $50 on the ship? Probably not, honestly. I mean, the thing about Wichita is, it does everything US cruisers do well, and it has all the drawbacks that come with it, you know? The range is fine. I mean, it doesn't have the super heavy shells, meaning the Pennet range is kind of meh on the AP. I think Wichita's biggest problem is that that Baltimore is so strong, and Wichita doesn't bring anything special to the table, like I said, you know? Like, it's not a bad ship. I don't think it's a bad ship at all. I just can't justify most people spending $50 on it. I mean, I don't regret the purchase. But at the same time, I don't think I would do it again. But I mean, I said, hey, you know, I got my tax refund. I've got a little bit of money right now, for once, says the broke college student. You know, I said, hey, let's treat yourself. I don't know. It's a standard US cruiser. I don't know what else there really is to say about it. If you like U.S. cruisers, you will like Wichita. If you don't like U.S. cruisers, you won't like Wichita. It's pretty simple. It's not like Boise, which is, you know, a U.S. cruiser with a super heel. It's not, you know, it's maneuverable, sure, because it's on a Helena hull, but it's not like full British cruiser maneuverable, which, if they gave it full British cruiser maneuverability, I would say it would be worth $50. If you were to spend $50 on a premium and this thing had British cruiser maneuverability, I would say it's worth $50. But right now, I don't really think I can justify for most people spending that much on this ship. It just isn't special. That's a good thing and a bad thing, you know? It's a good thing because we don't need more Belfasts. But at the same time, you know, doesn't do anything special. The firing angles are nice, you know, the AP is nice, except at range, where it does kind of fall off, because again, it's not the super heavy shells, so you don't retain as much of your pen at range. And in tier 10 games, you can't carry like you would be able to with, you know, with Des Moines. It doesn't have the DPM of a Cleveland. It doesn't have the... What is this thing to carry? It's... I don't think it's a bad ship. Because the problem is I'm comparing it to Baltimore because that's its tech tree counterpart, and Baltimore is so stupidly good that when you compare pretty much anything to Baltimore, it looks, you know, doesn't look great. Because Baltimore is just so ridiculous. But Wichita's problem is, as a tier 8 US, needs to do something really special. Needs to do something really well. I mean, I agree. I agree that it should... I agree that it should have something, because... I mean, right now, it just... What does it have that Balti doesn't? Maneuverability? That's kind of it. I don't think it needs too much to be worth it, too. Hydro in a separate slot? That would do it for me. Full British cruiser maneuverability, because the maneuverability is already kind of sort of its gimmick? That would do it for me. But I really can't recommend buying this ship for $50. I just can't. I like the ship. I don't like it for $50. That's really what it comes down to. How many module slots? The standard ones. It's a tier 8 US cruiser. That's it. It's a Nolans at tier... It reminds me of the old New Orleans. Quite a bit. Their Wichita game. So the problem that Wichita has, right, is that it isn't anything special for a US cruiser, you know? The only thing it does differently, realistically, is that it's on the smaller hull. It's on the Helena hull. You can kind of tell from when I switch ships that the hull size is exactly the same, because it is. Historically, Wichita was actually built on the same hull as the Helena and Brooklyn class. And this is her late war refit where they put on 20 or 18 Oerlikon 20 mils. And then they put on 4 quad and 4 dual Bofors. And there was actually a plan in the late war to switch the 8 single 127s with the hexagonal dual 127s like you see on all the other US cruisers. But they never actually went through with it. So that's the Wichita we have in game. And the problem is, she doesn't bring anything to the table over Baltimore, right? Like, the extra maneuverability is good, like, that's cool. I enjoy that. But the problem is she doesn't have the super heavy shells because her guns couldn't fit them. And so at range, she has a lot less penetration. You know, her Citadel is fine. I mean, it's pretty low, but you still eat a lot of pens. You don't have a heal. You do have the 27 mil armor, so you can bounce 381s. That's great. But everything with, you know, 16-inch guns just fucks you. Because all of this is 27 mil. All of it. Every single thing. You can't mount DF and Hydro, like the light cruisers. I think that could have been an interesting gimmick. I mean, the ship just doesn't bring anything special to the table. Is it a good ship? Yeah. It's a standard US cruiser. It does standard US cruiser things. It's a good tier 8 US cruiser. But the problem is it's competing against Baltimore, which is pretty strong, if not just straight up overpowered. And it's a premium ship, and I don't think I can recommend $50 for this ship. It's a good ship, sure, but I don't think it's $50 good. And that's just what it comes down to. Unless you want a US cruiser captain trainer, and you don't want to buy Indianapolis, which is fair. If you want a tier 8 ship for credits, you know, if they ever add Cherry Blossom back into the lineup, sure. But I can't justify $50 for this ship. That's just the problem that it has. It's a good ship. I just don't think it's $50 good. And that's just what it comes down to.